Hi guys, and welcome back to this journey towards excellent exam results. In these shorter revision videos, we are going to be breaking down different concepts within the GCSE geography specification. The aim of this is to help us understand the concepts better and to give us the information and confidence we need to answer exam questions. In today's video, we are going to be discussing the decline of the old economy in the UK. Okay, let's get started.
So the next thing that we are going to be discussing is the decline of the old economy, and we will start off by looking at the Clark-Fisher model. Now this model here shows us how the sectors of employment change as a country develops. So the country will develop through three main stages, and the three stages are the pre-industrial stage, which you can see right here. Then you've got the industrial stage and then the post-industrial stage. During the pre-industrial stage, the sector of industry that most people will be working in is the primary sector. As you can see, in the pre-industrial stage, over 70% of people work in the primary sector. And the number of people working in the secondary sector is only around 20%. And then in the tertiary sector is around 10%. Then as that particular country continues to develop, we get to the industrial stage. And this is a stage when the manufacturing industry begins to take off. Now, during that time, the manufacturing industry will be the highest, will employ the most people in that particular country, and the primary sector of industry will be declining. As you can see here, it's going down, and the tertiary sector of industry will also be increasing. Then coming on to the post-industrial stage, and this is where most of the UK, this is where the UK actually is at the moment. We have a high tertiary industry, a lot of people working in the tertiary sector, so working in services. And then the secondary sector, as you can see here, is actually declining. Now that can be explained by processes such as global shift and deindustrialization here in the UK, which we shall talk about later on. And the primary sector continues to decline and now is very, very low. The number of people that are working in the primary sector is very, very low here. Then we have a rise of a fourth sector of industry here, which is the quaternary sector of industry. The quaternary sector of industry is based on, people, having expertise or specialized knowledge to do certain jobs. And that is a sector that begins to grow during the post-industrial stage. Okay, so why did we have a look at that? That was to explain the old economy, because the UK is actually no exception in terms of following this Clark-Fisher model, because the UK once was pre-industrial and then developed through the Industrial Revolution in the industrial stage, and then is finally in the post-industrial stage. Now, so where are we going to start here then? So the economy of the UK has evolved in a similar way. I've already mentioned that. And the UK was once dominated, obviously, by the primary industry, and most people were employed in farming, fishing, and mining. Whatever was grown was produced in these three sectors, or whatever was produced in these three sectors, rather, needed to be processed or manufactured. So it had to be taken to the factories to be processed so that it's made ready for sale. And that is what led to the Industrial Revolution of the 1700s and 1800s. And the UK saw a growth in manufacturing and greatly prospered from that. Now, areas like Dinnington in the north of England thrived due to having coal reserves that could be mined. Now, that coal was actually used in the manufacturing of steel, which was then used for shipbuilding. And therefore, places like Dinnington really prospered and thrived as a result of that manufacturing and secondary sector of industry. Now, that actually is what we are referring to as the old economy. And that was when the UK heavily relied on primary and secondary industry. However, that old economy actually declined. Now, the colliery in Dinnington, Dinnington is our case study for our specification. The colliery there, which is the place where they mined, the coal mine where the coal was being mined, closed in 1992. And that was mainly due to declining coal reserves and then competition from overseas as well. Now, when those, when that coal mine, colliery closed, it led to a domino effect, which led to closure of other related industries such as the steel production and shipbuilding. Now we know that steel production and shipbuilding relied on the coal that was being mined in this area, and therefore if the coal is no longer being mined, then it means that the production of steel and the shipbuilding will also come to a stop. This caused a spiral of decline in Dinnington and other similar areas, and those areas are mostly located in the north of the UK. And the closure of these sectors of employment meant loss of jobs, poverty, and out-migration from those areas. There were also obviously abandoned buildings that were run down because people left those areas to try and find employment somewhere else. So between 1980 and 2015, primary industry in the UK was down 45%, which is almost half. Secondary was down 43%, almost half again, but the tertiary industry and quaternary sectors were up 59%. So there was clearly a changing of the guard as the old economy declined. So for your examination, just make sure you know what the old economy was. It was the economy that relied on the primary and secondary sector, and that declined in places that were mostly in the north of the UK, like Dinnington, where coal was being mined, and then the industries, the sectors that replaced that old economy were the tertiary and quaternary sectors.
That brings us to the end of this video on the decline of the old economy in the UK. I hope that you have found the information useful. I have also done a video covering the whole of topic 5 on UK's evolving human landscapes. It will pop up as one of the suggested videos at the end of this one and can also be found in the UK Evolving Human Landscapes playlist. Videos on all the other subtopics within this topic are also in the playlist. Thanks once again for joining in this journey towards excellent exam results. All the best and see you again soon. Bye-bye.